Today's episode of Hoppy on Broadway is sponsored by Seapine Brewing. Seapine Brewing Company is a kid and pet-friendly establishment located in Soto with an ever-evolving tap list. At the tap room, you can enjoy quality draft pours from over 12 different beer styles, fill a growler, and engage in conversation with their helpful staff and friendly patrons. Contact Brady at Seapine Brewing for private events and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Cheers. What's up, everyone? My name is K-Rad. I'm a rapper, producer, beer lover, and now I'm a podcaster. Podcasting about Northwest hip-hop and Northwest beer. Why? Well, I love them both, and frankly, you should too. So sit back and crack a cold one as a weekly guest and I talk about all things hip-hop and hops. This is Hoppy on Broadway. Welcome to Hoppy on Broadway, episode 11B. This is K-Rad, your host for the podcast. And today's a little bit different due to some unforeseen circumstances. My guest had to cancel last minute, and because Seapine was so gracious to fill up these massive growlers for us, I didn't want it to go to waste. So instead, I invited my old friend James over. He's a big beer lover, definitely knows his shit. And we also grew up on Seattle hip hop together back in high school, and we continue to listen to a lot of it today. So I brought him on the show. We have a good time. We talk about what was like in the Seattle hip hop scene maybe 8 years ago, what it's like now. We talk about Macklemore, Blue Scholars, Fresh Espresso, the list goes on. And we also talk a lot about beer. So I hope you enjoyed the interview and enjoy the show.
Well, on my way, ain't nothing like a beer to alleviate my stress. Some say I'm alcoholic, but they don't know best. Ain't nothing like a tall can when I need a sip. Pull a tab back, crack it, then proceed to take a swig. Think I'm about to pull a cold one straight out the fridge. Chances are if it's a weekend, then I'm gonna do it big. Ain't nothing like a beer. I can feel it when it's near. I can smell it in the air. Crack the top and watch it slowly disappear. I'll be loving it, guzzling it, always
Okay, welcome to Hoppy on Broadway, episode 11B. The B is for bonus. We're getting a little bonus episode here of me and my friend James Spencer, a.k.a. Pensive Rap. Fucked that up.
I guess we're gonna,
Pensive Rap. Pensive Spence. We used to rap together in high school, but since then he's been drinking beer and is definitely a lover of music, so we're going to be talking about music and beer and everything in between. And usually we do tasting glasses on this show, but today we might just get a little drunk instead. So we're drinking Seapine Brewery today. We're going to start out with their Mosaic Pale. The Mosaic Pale is like 5.4 ABV with an IBU of 35. Nothing to write home about. Without further ado, let's give it a little taste and a little review.
All right, Brain. You don't like me and I don't like you. But let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer.
Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have chewed gum in the car on the way over.
What do you think, man?
That's a pale.
It is.
Light, a little bit hoppy, not too hoppy on Broadway.
It's not too bitter as you suggested. It's got a little bit of sweetness in there.
I've really been liking Mosaics as a hop lately.
I didn't even know that's what it is. A Mosaic is a hop.
It is. Mosaic is a hop. You also over here, I guess you got the Citra, the fresh hop. I'm excited to crack that one open. It is fresh hop season.
Yes.
Those are flying off the shelves. Breweries are
the guy I've been in
everywhere.
Contact with at Seapine. He was pretty stoked about the Citra, which we'll be drinking in the third section of the podcast. But we're starting it off with the kind of easy introduction of pale. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think it can improve? What do you think?
I like it. It's solid. Nice and balanced. Now that I'm washing that sort of minty remnants off of my palate, I could quaff a few of these. It's crushable.
I think we might be doing that today. I could drink this all night probably, but I don't know if we'll be doing that. We, ladies and gentlemen, we just took a break for about 15 minutes to drink a beer and probably just bullshit a little bit and get a little buzz on to have a little bit more fun.
That sound is me pouring more beer.
Yeah, yes, and it's nice and foamy.
Yeah, that was a
coming out of the growlers. They were so graciously donated to the show. So shout out again, Seapine. They're in Soto. They fucking rock. But James, you tell me, what's your beer preference?
My craft beer experience, I'll be honest, I drank a lot of Natty Light in college. That was the UW fraternity scene.
Yeah.
And I
public schools.
Public schools. Okay, Gonzaga.
Let's be honest, we all had the same budget back then.
True.
But I didn't ever drink Natty Light. I mean, I was definitely a Busch Light giant PBR person.
That sounds like high school. But,
Yeah, I did both. I didn't switch over to Natty at all.
So I guess where I started, I made a very gentle segue into real beers by saying, hey, I'll drink shit out of bottles. That seems like a real upgrade. And it seemed expensive back then, but I started out with a Mere Pond, which is a pale.
Yep.
And
That's Deschutes, right?
That is Deschutes, but
Yeah.
I said I was going to try not to market
It's okay.
breweries other than
No.
Seapine, and also Sierra Nevada.
Yep. Those
Very
were kind of
pale.
like the mid-tier, but also kind of classy when you were at that age.
Exactly, you looked cool. Oh, and Sessions, the Stubbies, which
I love Sessions still to
Full
this
Sail
day.
makes those. Oh yeah, if I want to buy something cheap that's still in a bottle, I'll still do that.
Yeah.
I remember in college going around to party with those, and everyone go, "Hey, are you drinking Red Stripe?" And I'm like, "Nope, no, that's a Session." But yeah, so those are like bigger, more accessible breweries as far as craft goes. I think they're both in the top 3 to 5 like largest craft breweries in the country.
Yeah.
Where it's really hitting that edge of whether that's still a craft brewery or not. But pale ales.
Pale ales are your favorite, to answer the question.
Well, that's where I started. That was my segue.
Yeah.
And then I hit the IPA fad as just about everyone in the Pacific Northwest did.
Sure.
And
which was what, like 2 years ago? I don't know.
Oh, like end of college when I had an
That's what, 2
internship
years
that I
ago?
made more money than
you can afford the pale ales.
And I was like, all right, wait, I can do a little more hops. I used to think they were bitter and awful.
I was kind of the opposite. I've always been an IPA fan. It's funny because I started drinking IPAs in college once I got my fake, not only because I liked the bitterness and the hops and whatnot, but because the ABV was always higher.
Yeah, that's bang for your buck. You get a 6-pack of Torpedoes, it's like 8.5%. You drink those and you're fucking gone.
Yeah. So it's always been kind of IPA since then. I had a dark phase, and then now it's finally I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of IPAs. I still love them to death, but I'm more getting into pales. I'm still kind of into the.
That's what the New England
bitterness.
IPAs are about, though. For everyone who's been getting blasted by the Northwest style IPAs, there's a lot of real resiny, sticky hop character to them. That's it's juice time now.
Yeah. The only thing I can't stand in beers.
Hazy. It's all about the haze.
Haze. That's actually I was gonna say. The hazy IPAs. I'm not a big fan of. Anything that's kind of thick.
And that's what I'm talking about.
I know. And it's like the thick kind of thing. I don't really fuck with like as much because I like to be able to gulp my beer.
Well, which is, I mean, if you really want a chuggable beer, have some of this Seapine, this Mosaic Pale. It's eminently crushable, I will say.
Eminently crushable. I like that. That sounds like a hashtag, but it's like way too many words for a normal Twitter user to use.
Let's get this trending, people. Eminently crushable. Just make sure you know how to spell it, or else we're gonna look like fucking fools.
You could just put like a couple M's together, like eminently crushable, and I think people will get the picture more or less.
I won't get too political here, and he's not from Seattle, but speaking of Eminem, that cipher he laid down on Trump was pretty fucking dope.
I thought it was fucking dope too. Dude, the internet has been pissing me off the last few days for numerous reasons. But the shady cipher kind of like trumped us was like, I thought it was awesome because I thought the lyrics were good. But some people are bitching about like, oh, it was all spoken word and like he could have done way
Which
better.
is sick. And the only reason I used to fucking hate hip hop, and I actually used to fucking hate Eminem, to be perfectly honest, like, because that's what everyone was listening to when we were like middle school, like, I don't know, 11, 12, 13. And I was like,
2008 kind of era.
Yeah, like 2006 to 2008, like mid-aughts, and I thought it was fucking ridiculous. I was like, this is stupid. I don't need to hear more about bitches and hoes. And what actually got me into hip-hop and made me realize I could appreciate hip-hop was taking a creative writing class in high school, which sounds dumb and cliche, but got really into spoken word, and I was like, all right, this is spoken word with a beat. Okay, there's people who have more to say than that. There's good messages out there. So I mean, at that point, that's when I started getting into like Blue Scholars or the earlier Macklemore and stuff.
Bloody whips and smallpox, trigger happy cops, barbed wire and fire water, y'all, it don't stop. When the colonizer came with the cross and the sword, I threw the first spear and said I declare war. I'm a battle scar wearing heir apparent, descendant of a long lineage of proletariat and peasant. So check the work ethic in the name. The lessons might change, but the essence of the message is the same. So when they say anything, say why is it? Class is in session till the teacher gets a big slip. I ride the rhythm and vibe, a little wine talk, head get the concrete to line with your spine. I speak to find peace, but it's war all the time. It's deep like the drive from Renton to Shoreline. I'm a more mindful guy ever since finding out that I'm about to be your father. And doubt is not an
Okay,
option.
what we're drinking next. is the Citra Fresh Hop. It's got an ABV of 6.6%, so it's just a little bit of a kick up from the last pale ale that we drank.
Step your game up.
Step your game up, and that's really all I could find. They don't have it on their website right now, so it's new release, and beer is pouring all over the table right now.
Yeah, these are still foamy pours, and I
take that
apologize
napkin.
for that.
It's okay. That's why napkins were invented. And
These growlers are awesome. They're vacuum sealed. Like they will keep your shit cold for like 14 hours, but they're an ever-loving bitch to pour, I must say.
yeah. So yeah, let's try this out, man. Cheers. I know you got a lot of foam there, but let's try to get a little bit of taste out of this.
Why does beer taste so good?
Because you've just had 7.
Well, that's a fresh hop, yeah.
Definitely citrusy. This one's also kind of it's not nearly as thick as I would imagine, actually.
Citra is a lighter hop, is one thing. So it sort of has that bright sort of character to it.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Citra has always been one of my favorite hops for that reason, and it's one that's very sought after as far as the fresh hops, as far as I know, because it's got that really light, bright character. They'll also mix it with other stuff, like I said, those thicker, resinier ones to sort of balance them out.
It's not as sweet as the Mosaic, that's for sure. It's got a little bit more of a I don't want to say a bite, and it's not sour, but it's something else there.
Citrus.
Yeah, it could be
Citrus.
Citrus.
It's clean as hell, though.
Citrus.
Really, really, really nice mouthfeel. Just sort of goes right across the palate. Doesn't leave you a lot to think about.
Yeah. Well, we're going to kick off this next session with a game that I like to play with a lot of my guests.
Oh, yeah.
And it's for a lot of people who smoke weed, and I know that me and you have smoked weed since high school.
Don't tell my mom.
And we're gonna play this game called Whack or Fact. Here's how it works.
God damn it.
I went around the town to a few different dispensaries and made a list of the weirdest names for strains for sale here in Seattle. But I've also included a handful of fake weed strains in this list. I'm gonna read you each strain name one at a time. You have to tell me if it's a whack, as in it's not real, or if it's fact.
You've told me about this game before, but I have yet to play it. This is an interesting one.
Okay, well, let's see. This is the same list that Jarv D, the rapper who was on last week's show, did. So let's see how you stack up against him, okay? Elmer's Glue.
That shit's gotta be real. I'm calling fact.
That's fact. Ding, ding. All right. Blue Boy.
I'm trying to think of the cross strains that could be. If it was like Blue Girl, I'd think Blue Dream and Thai Girl, but Blue Boy, I'm saying whack.
Incorrect. It is a fact.
God damn.
All right. Garbage.
That could go either way. Whacking again.
It is whack. The reason I found that is because I saw a strain that was called like trash can or something. And I was like, that's weird, but if I switch it up, it sounds just as weird, and it's wrong.
I like it.
Galactic Glue.
Well, shit, man. Gorilla Glue is real, excuse me, and Elmer's Glue is already real. I feel like this is a head game. I'm going fact. Glue family.
It is fact. Woo! Correct. All right, next one. You're so far. You've gotten 3 for 4 so far. Downward Dog.
I don't know. It makes me think of smoking a J and doing some yoga. Whack though.
That's whack. You are right again. Ewok.
Oh, Ewok for sure is real. That shit fucked me up at a concert last year. I think you were there. We smoked that shit at Steel Panther.
Oh, that's right. It was Ewok.
That ruined my night. It was awesome, but goddamn, like
I should have removed that from the list.
Yeah, we drank too much. You just gave me a freebie there. I'll take it.
Okay. Carl Sagan.
Fact.
That is fact.
Woo!
You're doing well. Atmosphere Gold.
When life gives you lemons, you paint that shit. Whack.
Yeah.
Bitch.
It is whack. All right, Citrus 47.
Citrus, AK-47. Yeah, fact.
That is whack.
Damn.
Hey.
That was Trixie. Trixie opposites.
Pink Panther.
I feel like we're more about the purple in the weed world. I'm going whack.
That's fact.
Goddamn it.
That's fact.
Ooh, losing streak right now.
And 12th Man Down.
You know, someone probably made that in Seattle just to be a fucker, so let's go fact.
It is fact. Congratulations, you beat Jarv D.
Sorry, Jarv. I'll listen to your music sometime soon to make up for it.
His music's dope. It is. He's got some really good stuff on
When
it.
K-Rad recommends shit to me, I take it to heart, so I will look into that.
That's true. I've been recommending you stuff left and right. Like, Who was I sent you for Samurai Deli?
Samurai Del.
Yeah,
Samurai Del was chill as
Del.
fuck. That was a nice mix of like, some of it was sort of hip hop influence. There's a lot of sort of like jazz backing to it. I like that. It was chill.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the beat battle that I'm also competing in. Death by Stereo 4 on October 29th at the High Dive. If you guys are listening. And of course, we've been growing up on great Seattle hip hop for a little bit. Some of the formidable beat makers have been obviously Ryan Lewis, who got big with Macklemore, but we also have Sabzi of the Blue Scholars, and then Peace Move, rest in peace. Now he's known as 1000.
Yeah, and his art's fucking dope. I have Willie Nelson smoking a blunt on a shirt from going down there.
Yeah, I remember a while back, I mean, we were both kind of angry he had moved to art because it was like, dude, we fucking love your music. Like,
and I missed that Fresh Espresso Revival concert that he did in Belltown, too. I was out of
the
town.
Belltown art show or whatever. But
you did have Rick Rude of Fresh Espresso on this, I believe, a few weeks back.
And that was awesome. Rick is the fucking homie. But yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely a Seattle sound out there. I mean, you've listened to enough Seattle artists to know that, especially back in high school. We used to, trade music left and right, whatever.
When I wasn't making fun of you for Fall Out Boy, yeah, which I still am sorry for from the bottom of my heart.
Now everyone knows my deepest, darkest secret, except for I don't give a fuck because I still like them.
Respect.
But like, I mean, who's one of your favorite Seattle producers? I named like 3 big ones. You can name one of them. But if you're thinking of anyone else, like, I want to know what your feedback is on Seattle scene. What you think?
Well, shit, man. I mean, you just about named the ones that were really, when I started getting into hip-hop, that was exactly who I was listening to. Like I said, Blue Scholars and Macklemore were some of the first stuff that I ever heard and was like, oh, okay. Like, it just, such a laid-back vibe. And, I mean, Sabzi had Geo spitting, and then did Common Market.
Oh, yeah,
with,
dude.
R.A. Scion, who I think is probably the fucking smartest ever MC I've heard.
He's got a lot of poetic elements.
He's not from Seattle.
Is he not? Where's he from?
He's from like Virginia. That's why they Common Market had that EP.
Tobacco Road. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. But I mean, like, he's from Virginia, I think, because he grew up where tobacco and everything was like the economy and everything around it. But what grabbed me about that one was it was Black Patch War was the EP I'm thinking about, which followed right after, I want to say, Tobacco Road. But I'd never heard a rapper have like 9 syllables and 2 words. The particular line was particularly erudite, and I was like, oh shit, this guy fucking slaps.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. R.A. Cyan, or I don't know if it's R.A. Cyan or Raw Cyan.
I don't either, but because it's capitalized, I tend to go with the letters.
But
Sabzi, my man for life.
Yeah, Sabzi has. I mean, I still go back to his beat tapes he has on like his Bandcamp and.
Budo.
Budo is also solid. Budo did a lot of work on Macklemore's new album.
Budo from the Physics. Well, because
no, that's he's not from the Physics. You're thinking of Justo.
Justo from the Physics.
He
Budo
awesome
did like Language of My World.
Yeah, he did a lot of Language of My World.
Excuse me, I sounded like an idiot for everyone there, but I knew what I meant.
But yeah, Sabzi's someone I always go back to and freestyle over his beats because he's got a lot of swing and it's a lot of jazz influence shit.
Oh, it's bouncy.
His
it's
samples
laid
are
back.
on point,
it's
but even his
shit.
shit like since Cinematropolis that he started, he didn't do any samples. He did everything on synths and instruments, and it's just like he's fucking man. I miss his shit, man. I do miss his shit a lot.
Yeah. It goes what, 1 to the 2, 3. People asking Gio what the hell does Zoof mean? Me a true fiend, you're the new things. I'm a cool king. Felix throwing the 2 scene. Only came here to tell you 2 things.
We're drinking the Sea Witch Milk Stout Neck. It's ABV of 6.3%, IBU of 35. These are all very similar in their amounts, but obviously different in taste. We're gonna give it a little taste. I'm gonna get this foam all over my mouth.
Well, beer, we've had some great times.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a stout there. Malt character.
Yep, chocolatey. Coke. It's obviously coffee, but it's definitely that kind of strong cocoa. Like if you bit into those chocolate covered coffee beans, that's what it sounds like.
And those are delicious. Dude.
Those are delicious.
I was never a dark beer person.
Okay.
And that's something I'm finally coming around to.
Yeah. I got into dark beer pretty early on in my college before I got into IPAs. Then I got quickly out of it, and I was like, I fucking hate this shit. It's too thick, and it's gross.
It's a meal in a bottle, man.
It is.
It's like, it fills you up. How are you supposed to drink 6 of these? Like, it's not a whole lot more on the ABV sort of scale, but like, I could probably check that whole growler of the pale we started with, and this, I'm gonna have one of these, and I'm gonna be like, please do not give me any more of that.
Yeah.
It's dessert. It's delicious, but it's dessert.
There are some of those darker porters and
Porters and stouts.
stouts. Yeah, sorry, I just already forgot
Porter,
it. Drink
Old
like
English
4 or 5
style,
beers now.
much lighter. Yeah, stouts
Some-
are meant
some-
to be. I mean,
yeah,
it's
some-
in the name, stout. It's thick. It's
Yeah.
it's Winnie the Pooh doing.
But
his
they
stoutness
taste kind of
exercises.
similar, and the ones I like that are the ones that are actually not thick but are like. That's what I actually like about the Irish Death from Iron Horse.
Bad example for me. I think it's sweet and boozy in a bad way. I don't
Really,
like that
when I
one.
had it, when we reviewed it, when I reviewed it with Mitch, fuck, I'm gonna fuck up his last name. I think it's Pfeiffer, and it's either Pfeiffer. No, it's Pfeiffer, and we both really liked it. I mean, yeah, I like that beer. I think it is definitely boozy, but that's a plus in my book.
Sure, but I mean, if I'm going boozy, I'm going full boozy. I want a barrel age. Give me that Fremont Dark Star.
Sure, but that shit's like not always available.
True. It's
Yeah.
a seasonal. I have both the variants in my fridge. That's my new
Thing.
thing. I'm
Thing.
indulging in $20, $30 bottles.
Yeah, but let's back it up to what we were talking about in the last section, which was we talked about Blue Scholars, and we talked a little about the physics, and we kind of
Yeah.
glossed over this Peace Move and Fresh Special Mad Rad, but me and James are both huge Mad Rad fans back in the day. It was,
Those synths, man, the synths,
dude, and it was funny because like back then, like, and even still, like, I mean, I think honestly they're a little bit before their time because with the rise that electronic's been getting.
I mean, they beat YOLO by about what?
Like 2
4
years,
Two
a couple
years,
years. Yeah, they had
couple
You Only
years.
Live Once. Yeah. But I remember. Here's the story. Me, James, and 2 of our other buddies. We went up to Bellingham to Western to see them perform, and we were obviously super big fans. But to everyone else, like they're just a fucking other band that's coming for their art conference.
Yeah, because it's a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, so we
Also,
fucking,
Max tried to kill us in his grandma's car. If you're listening, fuck you for that. You're still gonna be mad about that.
we'll
I bet.
always remember all being drunk. Max wanted to drive home, and Petey saying, "I can drive better than you drunk," and it didn't happen. We still survived. Still a bad idea. Don't drink and drive. But at any rate,
I meant before we left Seattle, we're going on to the West Seattle Bridge, and he tried to merge into a Lexus.
we were all taking just rips from the bong, and yes, that was fun. But yeah, also very scary. But that was the night we actually partied with Mad
The
Rad.
worst part is there were no rips at that point.
Really? I thought we were taking
That's
rips
why it was
before we got home.
That's why it was terrifying.
Oh.
Again, sorry, Max. Glad you're back from New Orleans, though. What's up, bud?
Yeah. But we ended up partying with Mad Rad that night, just a bunch of high school fuckheads. That was weird. I still look back at it and think that was fucking weird we did that. Like,
Peace Move had just gone sober was the funniest part.
not on beer. He just stopped smoking weed. He was
Right,
drinking because he
'cause
played Flip
Flip
Cup,
Cup.
and we beat him.
But we tried to smoke weed with him, and he's like, no, hit up Buffalo.
Yeah, that's it. After the show. And we ripped some hash bowls with Buffalo Madonna, and then he invited us to the party, which we
What's
were
he
just
doing these
flabbergasted. I don't fucking know. Like, he's doing Iskadaf stuff, which is dope.
Honestly, last I really noticed him was when he was on the Macklemore track, Kings.
He was also on Thin Line off of The
Yes,
Heist.
that's
That was a
right,
great
that's
song.
right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, The Heist is when I started to stop paying attention to Macklemore. He sort of lost me
As
bit
I think
by
most
bit.
big fans did. I mean, Macklemore, I mean, obviously, when you grow up in the underground, you get fame being in the underground. You're going to lose fans when you get out of the underground.
It's easy for me to say he sold out. I don't know. Maybe we grew up. We grew different ways.
See,
it was a relationship that was bound to sort of part.
I hate the word sold out. Like,
I know I do, and that's why I said it's like sort of wrong and cliche for me
Yeah.
to say.
I mean, I think if an artist is literally changing their music to make money, then yes, it's sold out.
INDEPENDENT.
Yeah. If they're literally changing the music to make more money, they're selling out. If they're really just fucking with like what they're doing, they like pop music and they like, you know, making stuff their fans love, then I think that's okay. don't think
I
there's anything
lost
wrong
the
with
last vestiges of my respect for Macklemore when he collaborated with Lil Yachty, I'll be honest. Marmalade was fucking
Did you listen to his new
garbage.
album?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
No.
No, at all.
There are a couple tracks I liked, and it was interesting seeing that he had parted ways with Ryan Lewis for that one, and so the production was a little bit different. And
It was weird. He had a lot more of that chill kind of electronic vibe in some of his songs.
yeah, and then he had mumble rap with Lil Yachty, which I will never, ever, ever respect. I'm sorry.
Let's strike that from the album. Let's say you never put that song out with the album. Like, would you not fuck with the album at all, or is it just a principle thing?
You know, I would have to listen to it again. I will never say it's just a principle thing. I will. I'm an incredibly patient person. I will let someone who's fucked with me way too much in a bad way. I'll give people another chance.
Yeah. And I think every active listener should do that.
Sure, and you know what? I mean, Lil Yachty's about his brand. I don't think he even takes his own music seriously. But
I have no idea. I don't really research Lil Boat.
Nor do I. But that song was unmitigated garbage, and that I would like to see scrubbed from the record just so I can preserve the image of Macklemore I have from my youth.
I'll admit, I think the hook is catchy as fuck, but I was pretty sad to see him kind of do it. I still got mad respect for Macklemore, though, no doubt, and I did like the album. But to each his own.
There are good elements of plenty of songs, and they were good songs. And a lot of it just felt like, oh, just because I now have the ability to grab this star power, I will. I'm going to collaborate with Kesha. I'm going to collaborate with Lil Yachty.
Looking back from the past, though, do you have a favorite song from The Language of My World?
Ooh,
I got to say, I Said Hey is up there.
Was Inhale Deep on that? Because, Inhale Deep was my
It takes more to get connected than to quit smoking for a day. And when I get frustrated, I get a swish and get blown away. Then all of a sudden it hit me. These kids are listening. If I'm not making music, why the fuck am I existing? How can I talk about the problems of something else when I don't have the motivation and confidence to change myself? It's been so long since I really truly felt what it's like to live life without substances to help. Massive struggle, it's natural to one's health, but with addiction in my blood, I play the card.
Shit. Okay, we're for the bonus round. We got a bonus section today because
11B bonus.
11 bonus. We got a bonus little section here because the one and only Seapine, once again in Soto, check them out. They're fucking dope, and their beer's been delicious and has gotten me certainly a little faded by now. This is probably my 5th or 6th beer.
I'm tipsy.
Oh yeah, this is the Peach Goza.
Goza, correct.
Goza.
Yes, old world style German, usually marked by a little bit of sea salt, usually kind of light and tart.
Yes, light, tart, ABV of 5.5%, IBU of 12, not bitter at all. Let's give it a taste. Yames.
Clink.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. It's kind of got like an apple crisp kind of vibe. It's kind of cinnamon and apple, in my opinion.
What I find with Gozas is it's the perfect summer beer. You sit on a beach and you polish off a bunch of Gozas. And the problem with them is it does have that slightly almost salty character, which makes you thirsty. And when you're thirsty, what are you going to drink? More beer.
Yep. But we've tasted all 4. James, I got to ask, what is your favorite?
I gotta go with the Citra Fresh Hop. It's still at heart, I'm an IPA guy, and like I said at the very beginning, I'm a sucker for the fresh hops, and it's fresh hop season still.
Yep.
It's only gonna last so long, and then we're getting into the cold, dark winter, and just gonna have to drink some bourbon barrel aged dark beers to stay warm.
Yeah. You know, that's what I'm fucking forgetting his name right now, but he was the coolest dude at the bar. That's why he was recommending the
Seapine guy? Or
Yeah,
just
the
some
Seapine.
random dude at the bar?
No, he worked for Seapine. He was recommending the milk stout because it was, excuse me, that fucking winter. I know how.
Yeah, we got like a winter weather advisory going on. I drove over in a flash flood or some shit.
Yeah, fuck this fucking rain, but hey, Seattle, whatever. I gotta say my favorite is I like the Mosaic Pale. I liked it a lot. I like that it was
you
light.
like crushable beers. You
I
just want to
do.
throw that back.
I do like crushable beer. No, eminently crushable. Was that the
Eminently crushable was the way I
eminently-
described
that's
it. Yes.
the hashtag. We're gonna fucking play a game right here.
Worldwide trending.
It's a game we can both play. It's called Chop It Up, man.
Another game?
Yep. It's called. This game is. It's a new game. I've never played this before.
yeah.
This
I'm on
game
it.
is played a little like an either or something like that. I'm going to give you 2 names. They may be real or fictional, and you have to choose who you'd rather have a beer with. Now, this isn't necessarily who you're a bigger fan of.
Wait, so I can't be right or wrong like the weed one though.
No, this is no.
Oh, good opinion.
If you disagree with me, you're wrong.
You know, yeah.
Just kidding.
4 of 10 on the rating portion of the test.
This isn't necessarily who you're a bigger fan of, but try to think about who you might want to talk to or get to know more or even maybe get drunk with. There's only going to be 5 choices in the interest of time. We're going to start with 2 of the producers we mentioned earlier, Sabzi or Ryan Lewis.
Ooh. Give me Sabzi.
I was going to say Sabzi too.
I'm gonna drink with him. I'm gonna reminisce with him about UW. He dropped out, I believe. I completed my degree, but he's cooler than I am.
Did he? I don't think he. I think that Gio dropped out. I don't know. He did because he was doing jazz something. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Gio said in at least 1 or 4 songs that they both dropped out.
Yeah.
Fuck class. Get your education on the ass.
You know, it's funny because the people who are saying that in that hook are the delinquents. It says the delinquents, they laugh, fuck class, get your education on the app, which basically saying like, okay.
Either way, Sabzi's the shit. I'd like to talk to him about UW. I'd like to talk to him about his jazz influences. I'd love
I would too.
to hear about all of it.
I would love to talk about his sample process, but also I would love to talk about Ryan Lewis because I feel like Ryan Lewis and me are similar in our beat making process because he spends a fuck ton of time on his beats, and it takes me forever to make one beat because I'm just so nitpicky.
Does it not take Sabzi forever? Have you ever asked Sabzi?
I have no idea, but judging by the sheer amount of beat tapes he's put out, I assume not nearly as long. And they're also a lot less produced. They're a lot less shiny and glimmering.
Also, if I got Sabzi drunk, I would try to get him to freestyle with me because you never hear Sabzi on the track. Gio really has
he did a
that
couple
locked down.
tracks.
But I like to freestyle with Sabzi.
Yeah. All right. Abe Lincoln or George Washington? They both can't tell a lie.
Oh yeah, we got the cherry tree, we got the Emancipation Proclamation.
What was a bigger deal for America? I don't know.
Give me old Abe. I'd really like to hear what Abe has to say about things.
Abe would have some pretty cool shit. I think I'd have to say George Washington though, because
we diverge.
Yes, we do diverge. Because I want him to know what he thinks of modern day politics.
I'd like to hear what either of them have to say about modern day politics.
They both have, like, because obviously it was a long time ago.
This isn't a
for
political
both.
show, so I'm gonna stay away from that. But goddamn, we are in a fucked up scenario right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair. Let's do
Abe Lincoln on the NFL kneeling thing. Who knows?
Yeah, it is weird because I know George Washington did have slaves.
I don't think Abe Lincoln would tweet about it, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, definitely a different time for both of them. Would be. What if they were just both shitheads because they were both still racist? That would be shitty.
I'm not going to delve into that. Next question, please.
All right. A sentient human IQ goat or a sentient robot?
IQ goat?
Yeah.
What? Can you
human
clarify?
IQ? Did I say just IQ? I meant human IQ.
You said human IQ. Okay, so you mean a goat with the
not only
IQ
his feelings,
of
but
a
also
human.
he can. Okay, let's say he can also talk, but he also
Yeah, I was
can
gonna say,
think
are we
like a regular
speaking-
person, but he's a fucking goat, like
Okay.
in BoJack Horseman or something like that.
I never got into that show. Everyone's like, watch through the first season. I'm like, I'm not going to watch a season of something where
It doesn't
3
matter.
episodes made me
But
miserable.
or a sentient robot who would be just like a robot who has normal robot knowledge, but is also sentient, like
I don't know,
have
man.
feelings.
So this one actually is pretty easy because we got Siri, we got the fucking Amazon Echo with Alexa or whatever. Give me the goat. Let's see what the goat has to say.
I would rather do the go to just because. I mean, I'm even thinking about like
The chat bots, man.
that's
been around for a while.
Even like fucking Blade Runner robots, like that'd be cool, but it'd also just be like a normal human to me.
Have you seen the new Blade Runner yet?
No,
It looks kind of fun. I'd like to.
Here's good, yeah. But I just saw the first one for the first time, like last week. It was dope. I'd have to say the goat too. I think it'd be fun to talk to a goat. Like, you hungry? Do you want some peanuts? He'd be like, bah, no, I want some fucking grass.
Why'd you go with peanuts?
Because we're at a bar.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, that's how I'm visualizing all these.
What's the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts?
I put one in my mouth.
Oh, that's one way to put it.
What?
Well, I was gonna say beer nuts are at least $1.50 and deer nuts are under $1.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Dad jokes are us.
All right, Obama or Paul McCartney?
That's fucking weird just because of how violently different those are.
I'm gonna say Obama.
I
love
was
Paul
gonna
McCartney.
say,
I admire him so much, but I think that I'd have a better time hanging out with Obama.
so all I can think of in my head when you brought that up was, you know that meme of Obama with a pint in his hand giving a thumbs up?
Yes,
with
that's
his eyes
exactly what I
kinda
thought when I
closed?
wrote this.
That's what I'm thinking of. So give me Obama.
Yeah, I feel like Obama wouldn't even like he'd be able to chat like real life shit, but he'd also be able to give you advice. Meanwhile, Paul McCartney he'd probably give you advice too, but it's like I don't know, Paul. Like I love you, but you're not Obama advice worthy.
Yeah, whatever, man. Like the Beatles were over, and then you went and did the Wings, and yeah, Obama is a fucking legend.
Yeah. Well, at that point, that game's gonna take up the majority of the segment, the last segment. But I want to thank you, James Pensive Spence, for coming out to the podcast today. Hoppy on Broadway.
That's pensive rap to you.
Yes, pensive rap, as according to the beginning of the show. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Beer's awesome. Rap's awesome. I got to listen through the rest of these podcasts and check out all the artists who've been on before. And bless up.
Hell yeah, man. All right, guys. This has been Hoppy on Broadway, your source for everything hip hop and hops. My name is K-Rad. Until next week. Peace.
Your time is coming, now it's gone. So step out of your box.
And everything's burning beneath the sun, like money, family, sanity, and love. I learned fast watching that grown man run. Some only become what they